A warm welcome to each one of you. This is a Naomi Talk Show with yours truly, Liz Kenywa, and kama kawaida, I like appreciating each one of you that has watched our content, that has given us feedback and even suggestions of what we can handle and topics we can dig into even in this space. And guess what? If you're new, if you're coming across this work for the very first time, karibu sana. Ama niseme karibu nyumbani. And I want to assure you, this is a place where you'll get content that educates you, equips you, and inspires you to do life the way God intended. Because as we always say, He has a manual of how we ought to do life. Right from how we get into marriage, how we should eat. I'm sure you're wondering, what do you mean? Yes, He has it right there. So keep checking our content because all this stuff, you'll get it right here. Sit back, relax, and get ready to learn. So today we are continuing from the nutrition point that we left. I don't know how many of us can remember. We've handled 2 sessions where we were talking about preparing to carry a baby. How many of us can remember that session? Then we followed it up with breastfeeding and complementary feeding. And of course, I have a few points that I personally can remember. Number 1, don't stress about either pregnancy or even the milk production when the baby comes. You have to feed the baby on demand. Sio kumwandikia 8 meals in a day, yet the baby has no space even to feel hungry. The baby's food should not be very flat. Iweke ka flavor kidogo lakini sio maroiko. Weke chumvi, unaweza karanga, sio boiro. And of course, it should be adequate nutrition, not necessarily a balanced diet at that point. And there's one that I took home, that once you realize you are expectant, speak to your baby. Speak to that baby, because there is power in your words, even as a mother, that even a nutritionist can acknowledge. Not even a pastor or bishop, a nutritionist can acknowledge that whatever you say to your baby has a lot of effect on how they grow up and they turn up in their lives. So that's my recap. Please check your notes. Check our previous videos, the 2 of them that we've done on the same. And today we are going to look at meal planning for 0 to 5 years, because at every level, a child has got different nutritional needs. Those that are preschoolers, their nutritional need might be different. We will confirm from the nutritionist, from those who are still at home. And so we want to know how we can go about it. Na itapunguza stress kiasi. You will not be second guessing here and there. And so, yep, here we go. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Liz. I'm glad to be back again.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sasa tunataka kuingia hapa. Hata hakuna viti leo, as you can notice. Juu tuko class. So wewe jitayarishe ukuwa na class yako, uketi, utulie, usome. Yes, from the nutritionist. So we are talking about meal planning.
Yes.
So before we begin, why is it important for us to have a meal plan?
Okay, so meal planning in itself is to enable someone to know what foods they want to eat, to provide for those foods. Because if you don't plan, you will not have those foods that you want to eat. And also it also helps you to know the gaps that you have in terms of feeding.
Yeah.
Because when you talk about planning your meals, you should consume at least 8 food groups. So when you plan your meals, you're able to include all of them and provide for them. Yes.
Haya. So tutaanza na gani? Wewe ndio mwalimu, mimi mwanafunzi na wanafunzi wenzangu.
Yes.
Tumesonga kado kidogo tuweze kusoma.
Okay, thank you. So when it comes to feeding babies, I always say start feeding your baby from conception. Because the food that we eat during pregnancy are the same foods the mother will eat during breastfeeding, and are the same foods the baby will eat during complementary feeding. So it's the same group of foods. What the difference is the nutrition demands. For example, a pregnant mother will have different nutrition demands from a breastfeeding mother. And then during complementary feeding, babies have very high nutrition needs compared to preschoolers. So it's just by understanding the nutrition needs, that is what will just differ. But the food, the sources of all those nutrients are the same. So I'll start by listing the food groups that we should consume from. I'm sure I mentioned them last time, but
Yes.
I'll just list them so that I can explain how you plan. So you should first know what are the food groups. I will list them here. So usually these are the food groups. Food groups. So one, we usually have meats. So meats. When I talk about meats from all the animals that we eat. Beef, chicken, fish, eggs, and all that. I mean, the organ meats like liver, like matumbo, all that falls under meat. Then we have eggs under the same. We have milk under here. We have bones under here. So let me just, let me even write fish. So all the foods that we get from animal sources, this is what we call the food group number 1. Meat, eggs, milk, bones, fish, all that. Then number 2, we will have what we call pulses. Okay, pulses are the kind of beans. We have dengu. We have kamande, all that. I may not write all of them. Kamande, peas, jahe, all those minji, noe, all those, they are called pulses, yeah? They are called pulses. Then, number 3, we are going to have what we call green vegetables. Green vegetables, all the green vegetables, some are even dark green vegetables, all of them fall here. Leafy green vegetables. We have now our spinach here. We will have our skuma, our kienyeji vegetables like terere, managu, all those traditional vegetables, even the wild vegetables, as long as they are green and leafy vegetables, green leafy, I've omitted the word leafy. They are called green leafy vegetables. All of them fall there. Then the other 4th group is what we call brightly colored fruits and vegetables. Brightly colored fruit and vegetables are vegetables and fruits that are brightly colored, like yellow or orange in color. Usually these ones provide a high amount of vitamin A. So here we will have our pawpaws here. We have our pumpkin and squash and the butternut here. We have our carrots, mangoes, oranges, tangerines, all those yellow and orange colored fruits and vegetables. This is where they fall. Then now, number 5, we'll have now all other veggies and fruits. Okay, so this is where now you have all the others that do not fall under green leafy vegetables and do not fall under brightly colored fruits and vegetables. So we'll have our cabbage here. Our cabbage will fall here. The hohos, the chilies, the cucumbers, gourgets will fall here. Broccoli, cauliflower, all those now that do not fall under these 2, now we call them other fruit and vegetables. Avocado also will fall here. Avocado, guava, apples, grapes, they fall here. Then number 6 is now the grains. These are the ones that provide high amounts of carbohydrates, grains or cereals. We have roots and tubers. So under this is where now we will have all our cereals. The rice will come here. Ugali will come under here. Chapati will come under here. and all the wheat product, because wheat is a cereal, rice is a cereal, ugali is from maize, even wimbi, the one we make with porridge, right? Wimbi, sorghum, all those. Then roots, we have like sweet potatoes. We have our ndoma under here. We have cassava under here. We will have yams under here. All those roots. Tubers, we usually have bananas, the matoke. You can just write matoke. Okay. So all these now fall under group number 6. Mostly they are carbohydrate foods. Then the last one, no, not the last one.
Second last.
Yes. Number 7, we have what we call nuts and seeds. Nuts and seeds. So this is where our njugu will come from. Will fall peanuts, njugu, macadamia nuts. I'm writing in Kimeru. Macadamia nuts. All those nuts, cashew nuts will fall under here. Brazil nut, hazelnut, all those you find in the market. Seeds, we have pumpkin seeds. These are the most common. Because if you're eating pumpkin, don't throw away the seeds, because you will need them here. We will have the sunflower seeds. We have flax seeds, chia seeds, linseeds. There are so many types of seeds. You find them here. And then now the last one is the herbs and spices. So herbs and spices, we have the most common that we use: garlic, ginger. We have rosemary, cinnamon, cardamoms, cloves, the oreganos. All those herbs and spices will fall under here. Yes. So these are the 8 food groups that your baby, or a pregnant mother, a breastfeeding mother, a baby should consume from. Even us as adults, we should consume. Our diet should have a variety of all this.
But our nutritional needs are different.
Yes.
That's why we need a meal plan.
Yes. Our nutrition needs are different. So when you have these 8, now you're able to plan your food. Okay. Because the recommendation is you must eat not less than 5 of these per day for you to be able to get the adequate nutrition. For pregnant mothers and for during complementary feeding, for babies below 5 years, they should eat not less than 5, at least 5. Less than 5, they are going to get malnutrition. They will not get the adequate nutrition they need. So how do we now start planning? Okay. So during complementary feeding and during pregnancy, the needs are almost the same. During breastfeeding, the mother should eat all this, but they might reduce the grains, the carbohydrate foods. Okay. Because weight gain is not an indication during breastfeeding. So most of the time I reduce this from breastfeeding mothers, but now they can eat all the others in plenty. So except for that, I'm going now to plan a meal plan that I'm going to show you how now we are going to feed this baby from conception. So I'm going to start with day 1. Yeah, day 1. So for day 1, when you have this list, you're going to see what are we going to have. For example, what is your favorite meal, Liz?
Meat section.
No, just tell me your favorite meal.
Githeri.
Okay. Githeri, we make githeri with maize, isn't it? We'll have maize. We'll have beans. Then you fry it with maybe carrots, isn't it?
And potatoes.
You put potatoes.
Where we come from, potatoes must feature.
You put potatoes. Then you will have a side plate of vegetables. Maybe you will have fried spinach, hapo kando, si ndio?
Tunaweza changanya hii yote mpaka mboga.
No, we are just listing the things you're going to have with your githeri. Si ndio? You have spinach.
I was thinking of a mixed grill.
No. No. I know people from Mount Kenya. People who cook everything in one pot.
Yeah, that's what I was saving on.
Yeah. Then While you're frying, you will use onions, isn't it? Onions is in the other vegetables end. So you will have onions, and then you can put some garlic and ginger to make it tasty, or even garlic only, isn't it? So you're going to fry, you have your maize and beans as githeri, then you will add some potatoes and carrot in the githeri, isn't it? Then you'll have, and some garlic. Then you'll have your side plate of spinach.
I'm still stuck at the spinach.
Spinach unapika kando.
Okay.
You want to mix? Okay, the people who mix.
I'm thinking where we come from. So are you recommending this is the best way for highest nutrition gain?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, when we look at the food groups, we have maize, which falls under number 6. We have beans, which falls under number 2. Those are 2. We have carrot, which falls number 4. Those are 3 food groups. We have spinach, which falls under number 3. Those are 4 food groups. We have onions, which fall under other vegetables. That is 5. We have garlic, which is herbs, and that is 5. And remember, this is just one meal.
So this thing is not supposed to be expensive. Because the assumption is in a person.
Okay, this is just meal number 1 of the day. Meal 1 of the day, isn't it? So you fried your githeri and some spinach kando, and maybe you can even add avocado. Yeah, you can add avocado, which is falling here. That is meal 1. In your meal 1, you already have 5 groups. Meal 1 of the day. Then meal 2 of the day. Usually, I do not do planning meals using breakfast, lunch, supper. I usually use the first meal of the day, the second meal of the day. It's up to you to decide what you want to eat for the first meal and all that. So meal 2 of the day, what are we going to have? Now you've had your githeri. Maybe you woke up in the morning, you had your githeri as the first meal. The second meal, what would you want to have?
Rice and dengu. Rice and dengu.
Liz, you will eat githeri and then later on you eat rice and dengu.
So okay.
It's still okay because now I'm assuming this is a pregnant woman. Yes, the appetite is high. This is a baby. Yeah, that is still okay. So rice and dengu.
Let's change this and make it. This looks like, now let's take
Meal
this
2
to
of
be
the day.
breakfast. Breakfast. So I would do tea. And I love ndomas and ndoma. That would be what I would.
Tea and ndoma.
Yes.
Tea and ndoma. Okay. This tea, ndoma is just boiled ndoma, isn't it?
Yes.
Then this tea, you are going to have this tea, it will have milk. Sorry, it has milk. And then what else are you going to have? Tea leaves.
Tea leaves.
Tea leaves.
Ginger tea.
And some ginger. Okay? Then meal 3 of the day.
So let's assume this is now supper. It can be heavier or lighter.
Yeah, whichever way you want.
Okay. Nutritionally, they say the one that is last should be lighter. So we make this lighter. Is it wrong just to eat fruits in the evening only?
So which fruit are we going to have?
So a combination of watermelon, a pawpaw, and
Pawpaw. Okay.
a pawpaw, and a banana.
And a banana. That's a fruit salad. And banana. Okay. So this is how your day looks like. This is just an example of to see if at the end of the day you've been able to consume all the food groups. Assuming you're a pregnant woman,
Yes.
or assuming we are feeding a baby at 6 months,
Yes.
up to 2 years,
Yes.
or even a preschooler. So you're assuming this is what you're going to have. So if you made githeri, usually I say for babies who cannot chew githeri, you can modify it. You can mash it, you can blend it so that it's adapted to how the baby can swallow, because you won't feed a 6-month-old baby maize and beans.
Yeah.
So you blend and make it make it easy for them to eat. So this is what the baby had as their first meal. Then their second meal, you made tea and doma. Then their third meal, you give them a fruit salad. So as a nutritionist, I will only check this if they are meeting the criteria. So here we already saw you met 5. Now here, ndoma is in the roots and tubers. Then you had some milk in your tea. That is, although I don't advise tea for pregnant and babies, tea leaves. Yeah, you may not put tea leaves. You can put something.
Chocolate.
You can put hot chocolate.
Okay.
Yeah, or even just milk plain. So we had milk and doma. So you have ticked number 1. Then you had fruit salad. You had a pawpaw, which is under the brightly colored fruits, and then you had a banana, which is other fruits. Yeah. So essentially, this is adequate nutrition for the pregnant mother. This is adequate nutrition for the baby, because we've ticked more than 5 of the food groups.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when we are looking at the nutrition needs now, because this is now where we start understanding, you just balance. So now, if we narrow down and start looking at the nutrition needs of the pregnant mother and of the babies below 5 years, their nutrition needs are high, where we need more iron, as we said last time. We need more zinc. We need more omega-3 and fatty acids. We need more vitamin A. So those are the essential and critical nutrients that if the baby lacks, they are likely to get malnutrition, stunting, or underweight. So we are going to look at the foods that provide those and make them prominent in their meals.
So you say that slow growth, even in height, is affected by what they eat?
Yes.
So mi si kukula poa kwa sababu niko mfupi. It's all right.
So height is a very diverse thing because it's determined by genes. But you see, genes is a loaded gun. So if you don't feed the baby the right nutrients, they will not achieve their genetical potential. That is why stunting is failure to achieve your genetical potential for height.
Oh, okay.
So you're born with the genes of being tall, but you did not grow tall because you're not given the nutrients to enable you to be tall.
So there's a particular guys from Sudan. They usually naturally.
Yes.
So their genes.
Yes.
Are predisposed. So whether they eat or they don't.
No, if they are, Sudan is one of the places we have high stunting levels because of the issues there. But yes, child stunting. And you can see subsequently, you will see in their population, the generations that were born during the high stunting levels, you can see they're not as tall as the Sudanese used to know before. And also, when you talk about height, the Africans of this side of the Sahara are usually tall people. That is a topic for another day when I talk about human height. Because it's more about evolution, adaptation to our environment, and all that. Why nature needed some people to be so tall and some people not tall.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we talk now about, this was the generally how you plan your meals. Now let's plan now considering the nutrition needs. So those critical nutrients are received or are gotten from the first 4 food groups.
Okay.
The first 4 food groups must be consumed every day by a pregnant mom or by a baby who is less than 5 years. Especially babies less than 2 years, because that is where stunting is highest. So if I have a 6-month-old baby or I have a 7-month-old baby, 8-month, 9-month, a baby less than 2 years, this is what I would do. So for my meal, for the meal 1 of the day, usually they are woken up, it's in the morning, they may not be so hungry. Actually, in the morning, babies are not so hungry. So you will not give them a huge meal. So I'll maybe do a light meal. In Kenya, mothers give porridge a lot.
Yes.
You see mothers giving porridge or these roots and tubers and all that. So I'll go with the tradition or the heritage. So I will look at what is the porridge I'm giving my baby. For me, I love the millet porridge. So I will have millet.
Ngoja. Kuna ingine inakuanga na omena, njugu.
Yeah.
It has like 10 components of different foods in there.
Yeah, and I think last time we mentioned about it that it is not recommended. The baby's porridge should not exceed 2 ingredients. So if you find a porridge that has so many, and most of those ingredients are here, you'll find it's all grains,
By
cereals.
the way, zinasiagwa from
So
here.
you're feeding your child so many things in the same food. And then now when you mix with these others, you now start interfering with nutrient interaction. Because you're cooking all of them in one pot. If you put beans, for example, and beans and maize, beans cooks longer than maize. Yeah, so you will end up giving the baby uncooked beans. So it's not recommended.
Okay.
So I've said I'm giving millet. Millet is wimbi. For example, I go and buy wimbi unga. Then when I cook, I'm going to add butter to my baby's porridge. And then I can squeeze some orange juice in it. Just one orange and squeeze in your baby's porridge. That is what I do for my kids, for my babies. So I will have this as meal 1. Then meal 2, remember for babies we are doing responsive feeding. We said you're not planning like after every 2 hours. No.
You feed
Once
on
you
demand.
feed them this, that's why every meal should be highly nutrient dense, so that your baby is able to get adequate, because there are babies who will feed even twice in a day, which is also okay. The problem is, what are you feeding them? If they are going to feed once, if all the babies will feed 3 or 4 times, but they can't eat a lot of food at once. So even if they're eating 2 tablespoons or 3, I want to know what is in that tablespoon. That is what matters the most. Foods that are delivering the right nutrient for the baby. So meal 2, so if the baby ate this one maybe in the morning, so maybe I will expect them to be hungry again in the afternoon. So the next meal, I'm going to have, for example, meat. I will have meat. Then I'm going to maybe terere, vegetables. And then I'll terere with, let me say, with carrots. I put some carrots, and then I make them rice. And then I'm going to put some garlic. And yeah, for example, so it is rice beef. So with my rice beef, I'll boil the rice. Then I'll fry my beef stew with carrots. You can put hoho, you can put dania, that's allowed. Then I'll fry it and put some garlic. Then I'll fry some terere as a side dish. Then later on, they'll be hungry. Maybe late in the evening, ama usiku, maybe at night before they go to bed. And remember, you're breastfeeding in between if it's a baby less than 2 years. Yeah, that is why I always disagree. You cannot tell me a baby will eat 5 times in a day.
Now, we used to plan for 6.
Every 2 hours. It is not practical. That's why babies are stressed. Yeah. And there are mothers who hide so that the baby doesn't breastfeed your akule. No, let the baby breastfeed. And then wait until they will be hungry and then feed them.
And you know, if the baby doesn't feed very well, the house girl is fired.
Yes, that is also another another thing, because she was left and told she should drink the milk, 1 glass of milk. It's even unpractical. A 9-month-old finishing a glass of milk, and they are also going to breastfeed. Some practices are the ones that are causing problems. So the third meal now, I'm going to choose, I can make the baby a fruit salad or even just one fruit. So I can go with, for example, avocado and pawpaw. So I'm going to have an avocado.
So how many can we mix for this?
Avocado. Fruits, just mix 2.
Maximum 2?
Yes, just have 2.
Okay.
2 from different. Have a brightly colored fruit and the other fruit, an avocado or a banana here or a melon.
Oh, okay.
Then you can also, or even one is okay. But for purposes of this, we can say avocado and pawpaw.
Okay.
You can have this. You can chop it finely chopped and give it to the baby. You can mash it, whichever way. I discourage adding milk to the baby's.
And yogurt?
You can put fermented milk, yeah, or the plain yogurt, not the fruits already have sugar, so don't use yogurt because yogurt has added sugar.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So when I plan like this, let me see if my baby was able to consume at least five of these food groups at the end of the day. So when I give them millet is coming from number 6. Butter is coming from number 1.
2.
Orange juice is coming from the oranges are in the brightly colored fruits. Then I give them meat, which is number 1.
4.
So that is another. Okay, I already counted this one, so that's 4. Then green vegetables, that's 5. Carrots. Then we have rice,
6.
greens. Then you have avocado as other vegetables. Then we have pawpaw. Now look at the nutrition density of this food. These 4, I said the baby must eat every day.
Yes.
Did I take the 4? Yes. I give my baby butter. I give my baby orange, which falls here. Butter falls here. It's a milk product. And then orange juice falls brightly colored vegetables. Then meat falls here. Then terere is a green vegetable.
4.
Carrot is a brightly colored vegetable.
4.
Then rice is here, so that is okay.
4.
Garlic is here. Then I have avocado, which is here. Then I have pawpaw, which is here. So you can see when I've fed them different foods in one day, they have consumed 2 or more of the 4.
What we are saying is the emphasis should be more here.
Yes, because these are the nutrient dense that are going to offer those nutrients that you have said. Not to say these are not important, but this must be present every day and more in quantity. So my baby has eaten meat, has eaten green vegetables and carrots. So their iron needs are met, their vitamin A needs are met, their energy needs are met, their zinc are met, because meat is also, meat is a source of so many minerals and vitamins. So when I talk about zinc, I talk about iron. Meat is the best source of that. It's one of the best sources of that. When I talk about terere and the green vegetables, when we talk about iron, we talk about vitamin A, we talk about zinc, it comes from there. And all these others, even the calcium, magnesium, all these other nutrients now, because foods that are high in nutrients, they're also high in other nutrients. And you can see I've spread them in 3 meals. So even if the baby eats these 3 meals in the day, that is sufficient. And even if they are able to eat just kidogo, they are not eating a whole mountain. Even if this porridge, they just took half a cup. Even if they ate 5 spoons of this and they had half a cup of this, their nutrition needs are likely to be met. Because again, they are breastfeeding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question. For a child who does not do animal protein, what can they substitute with?
For animal protein,
Yes,
we have pulses.
Oh,
Pulses are also. But most of the time we assume babies have allergy to animal protein.
Yes.
Most of those are not allergy. They are just food intolerances because of the feeding practices.
Okay.
Because even there are babies who have allergy with this. So a baby is reacting to protein, maybe anakula ndengu, anakuwa na shida, akikunywa maziwa, akona shida. You see, most of those they are not allergies, they are food intolerance, and that is addressed.
Okay.
Yeah, because we only fix the baby's gut.
Okay.
The baby's gut, usually most of these babies have the leaky gut. That is, the undigested food items are passing into their system and causing a reaction. So we may not say really that is allergy, because allergy is a systemic reaction. But that most of these are food intolerances because of poor gut health. Yeah.
So the gut health challenge, you need to see profession on that to be able to sort
It's
that
fixed
out.
nutritionally.
Or nutritionally again.
Yes, because if, for example, the baby is not tolerating
Yes.
meat, the solution is not to omit meat from that baby's diet. The idea is to check why the baby is reacting to meat. So we are going to fix the gut. How? Okay, we will eliminate the meat for some time as we fix the gut with these other foods. One, I will encourage the mother to give the baby fermented foods. We will give probiotics. We will give vegetables to be able to support the gut bacteria. Then we start introducing meat in small quantities. And also we are going to check what is the meat. What meat is the baby reacting? So is it beef? Is it chicken? Is it sheep? Is it goat? What meat and why that meat? Yeah, because most of the time, it's not the meat; it is the chemicals in the meat that the baby is reacting to. The preservatives that are used in the meat will mess up with the baby's gut, and you have issues. So there are so many. So we will do a very keen and thorough checkup to know why is the baby not eating meat.
Yeah.
Why is the baby not able to tolerate fish, for example? I'll check that one out. And most of the time, those issues are fixed. So it is not advisable to just say, when the baby eats meat, they are reacting, so you omit meat from
totally
their diet.
drop it,
because they will miss out on the nutrient the meat offers. Yeah.
So there are also those that their religion does not permit them to do some of this, especially these ones. So how do they have to substitute with this now?
Yeah, there are some nutrients that can only be found in animal products. An example is vitamin B12 that enables our cells, our bone marrow, to make red blood cells.
Okay.
And if that is not provided, the baby will have anemia. It's one of the causes of anemia. So if they're not eating this at all, they must be supplemented. Another one is choline, very important for the nervous system, the nervous system and the brain cells. It's only found in animal proteins. So if the baby is not eating this, we will have to supplement some of those. So a baby that is entirely not eating this one, they will have the deficiency. Then now malnutrition will kick in, stunting and undernutrition will come, and it will also now affect even their development. And that is why they need to be supplemented. Like those religions, like the Hindu, they must be supplemented, especially for pregnant mothers and children less than 5 years. They must get the supplement if they are not eating this at all.
Haya, swali ya mwisho. There are people who are very sharp. They produce professors. They produce doctors. I mean, every homestead has a professor and a doctor. Well, you find in another community, kupata professor ni muujiza.
It's a fish.
Ndio hiyo? Ama ni ya genes?
Now, it's not the fish. It's the nutrient in the fish. Omega-3
okay,
and
the
6
nutrient in the
iron.
fish.
Yes.
Yes.
That is what. And kudos to the mothers, because it means the mothers ate those nutrients to support brain development.
So,
without, the brain development of the baby, that is another topic I think I'll come to. You need nutrients. There are nutrients that must be provided and in very high amounts to form the baby's brain. One of them is omega-3 and 6 fatty acids. The other one is iron. Without those you cannot form the brain cell, and the body will not form. And imagine 80% of the baby's brain is formed by the age of 2 years. The baby is born with 30%. The other is formed up to 2 years, and it is reversible. You cannot find a 2-year-old with 60% brain, and now you start giving iron, and you start so that you can. It cannot. Ikipitisha 5 years, 2 years ni hivyo. You cannot add. So it is an irreversible condition. So that is why people, not just fish, meats and eggs are very high in omega-3.
But those who eat from here, sana hawatoi maprofesa.
They're very, it's not, again, human intelligence, you don't test it with the, you don't test it with the, you don't test it with the school system. Let me give you an example, a very good example I love using. In northern Kenya, stunting is we assume northern Kenya, northeastern, they are very poor and they have malnutrition because they're always in drought and famine. But stunting is very low. Those people are pastoralists.
Yes.
Being pastoralists, meaning they depend a lot on their animals. Their animals are pasture fed. So the products of their animals are very high in the nutrients, the iron, the omega-3 and omega-6. Now, who are the people in Northeastern? If you go to Isli, You find a Somali or whoever, or those people from, because I'm just clearing the air of, it is not about those who went to school and become lawyers. You will find someone who never went to school. They come to Nairobi, see how people do business, they put up their business, they become so successful. Intelligence, because their brain was formed right.
So mothers, please put in the effort. Below 2 years, do your best. Am I right?
Yes. The other example I love using is you will find someone who never went to school and never studied, for example, how to make things, but they put up their own business to make things, and they make them so well, and they even compete with those who went to the university. A very good example I use is mechatronic engineering. When you go to Kamukunji here, where people are making things, yeah, or if you go to a garage where people are, I've ever looked at a mechanic who is a primary school dropout. He knows so much about a car. He fixes the car. He's perfect. In fact, if he was given a job in Toyota to make the car, he would.
Yeah.
And he never stepped in engineering school. The brain was formed right.
Wow. It's only that the opportunities were...
Yes. And the best for me as a nutritionist, because now education, now the teachers now should also now agitate to have schools in place. For me, I'm advocating, let the brains be formed right. When the brain is right, this person will thrive. The same examples you use, if you go to poor places, there is always someone who managed to get themselves out. The difference is here, the way the brain was formed in the first 1,000 days of life.
Wow. Okay.
A brain that was formed right is not likely, because human intelligence is not going to school and getting A's. Human intelligence is being able to be productive, being able to solve problems. And that is why human beings are the most intelligent of all creatures, because their brain is highly intelligent. They are able to solve their own problem. Human beings are the only ones that are able to construct their own houses. When you look at the cousins I talk about, the gorillas and the chimpanzees. Yeah. So every human being genetically has a potential of being a genius. And the only way to unlock the genius in every person is by feeding from conception to the age of 2 years. We make sure that brain is formed right. And the only way to form the brain right is by feeding the brain, the mother and the baby right. And that is why these 4 groups, the baby must eat every day.
Underline in bold letters.
Yes.
Must
eat every day. So for mothers who boil rice, because I do a lot of community visits, you find a mother has boiled rice and just put salt, and the baby is eating that.
Oh, fried the rice.
Yes. So when you fry rice you only have, it's just here. This is not very important. This is the least important of the food groups to provide nutrients to the baby. I would rather the baby eat eggs. If the mother has 20 bob, just buy an egg and give the baby the egg, instead of buying rice and boiling it to the baby, or bread, or ngumu, or mandazi. Just buy an egg. Or another crazy one I say, I would rather even buy mutura, because it's made from meat, and give it to the baby.
Oh, okay.
Because you can get mutura with 20 bob. I would rather buy mutura, because mutura is made with animal proteins, and give it to the baby, than just buying rice and boiling it to the baby, or buying mandazi, 20 bob, and giving it to the baby. You see, so it's about the foods that give the right adequate nutrients.
Wow. Okay.
The other mothers in Nairobi, because I've been with mothers in Nairobi, not even in Nairobi, even in rural areas, because stunting is even high in rural areas than in urban areas, there is an obsession with matoke, pumpkin, and spinach.
Yes. Hiyo ndio ilitulea.
Yes, matoke, pumpkin, spinach. Every day the baby is having, and then there's the porridge now, the millet, that concoction of everything in one. And that's why we have a lot of issues with babies. And this is not a poor man's problem. Even in affluent families, even in those well-off families, stunting is there, anemia is there. So it's not about a problem in low settlement areas. This problem is all over. Even in those high affluent families, it's there.
So very soon we are going to go like this.
Yes, we are already short. We are already as our generation was this. Our millennials were the generation that recorded the highest stunting, 48%. That is like almost half of the millennials.
So the alphas will even be shorter. Oh,
now
dear.
with this kind of, with all this information, they will not, because because even the statistics are showing stunting is going down, and it's because of this information.
Okay, thank you, Jesus.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow. I hope we have learned a lot from this, that your baby, the first 1,000 days, which is equals to 2 years, mami, jikakamue, jikaze, do everything. And I think I liked this. Instead of doing the rice, get the egg at the same value or less of 20 bob, and you make sure, and you be very sure that after 2 years, your child can thrive anywhere, because their IQ will be at its best. So whether they get the best form of education or not, wherever they'll be able to thrive, because you'll have worked on them in the first 1,000 days.
Yeah.
Na sio mingi. You can break it down. Sio mingi. Ikisema 1,000 inakaa kama ni mingi, so let's call it 2 years. So as we round it up, wind it up on this section, what would be your encouragement to a mother who has a child at this age?
Diversify the baby's diet. This is just an example. But the reason why I say in 10 days, your baby should not repeat a food. Look at all these foods. If you are to plan from day 1 to day 10, we will not repeat any food. Because if I come to meats, we get meat from, we have beef, we have chicken, we have goat, we have sheep, we have duck, we have all those animals we eat. Then we have eggs. Then we have bone soup. We have fish. We have so many types of fish. Omena is fish. We have tilapia. We have so many fish. So you can see here, if you list here 10, you will get 10 different things to list here. You come to here, you will list 10 different. Beans, we have so many beans
Variety,
types.
yeah.
There is roskoko, wairimu, sijui red beans, small beans, yellow beans, green beans. If you list beans alone, you can get even 10. So in 10 days, you can eat just beans, but different types of beans. Then now here. So here you can list 10. Then you come here. Vegetables, we have numerous vegetables. I'm sure that your mama mboga, if your mboga only sells spinach and skuma, you need to now get another person who is giving a variety of vegetables. If you go to the supermarket, you can list 10 different vegetables. Then you come here, again, you can list 10. If you come here, you can list 10. All these, you can list 10 different things. So if you list 10, then you have a whole 10-day meal plan that you do not repeat food.
That's avoid the headache of, cooking ugali today, you skip tomorrow, you do rice, and the day after tomorrow, ugali again.
Yeah,
okay.
People
that's why we
rice,
oscillate
ugali,
between
chapati.
Exactly, rice, ugali, chapati. And chapati is very done occasionally. Let's give it on weekends. So between Monday to Friday, you're alternating between the two.
Rice, ugali,
Between the two.
Now we will eat this. Who is going to eat sweet potatoes, doma, cassava, matoke? And there's so many I have not listed. Yeah, there is sorghum, there is wimbi, there is yams. Who is going to eat all those others?
Okay.
And also those others have nutrients that you need.
Tuko na kazi.
Yeah.
But check this out. For us to be able to feed our children well and have children that are growing in the best way. And as we said, these things, wana wa Israeli waliuliza kama hakuna garlic. So you see the garlic is here and was there. So they knew what to eat. They were also eating herbs, bitter herbs. The herbs are here. So do you now realize that God had already these things for us? But we are modifying them with fast foods, deep fried foods, and then we are getting a byproduct of that or a result of that with obesity that we are struggling with and all that. Definitely we look for another time to address those issues. But let's be careful what we feed our babies. And this is quite affordable, very affordable. So she said it's not going really to be for the affluent, those with heavy wallets, but even those that feel like their wallets are not quite heavy, this is quite affordable because you can get a small popo at 20 bob, 10 bob, split it into 2 days, and then your child will fully be fed an avocado for 20 bob, split it into 2 or 3. You have it fully covered for your nutritional needs for your children. Situmalizie hapa. See you next time. God bless you.